Hello and welcome everyone to the College and Beyond podcast with Amore. If you have not realized, I am your host today. And today's episode 4, we are going to be exploring from private to public Donovan's journey to Georgia Tech. This episode and podcast is sponsored by Education Innovations, where I am the founder and owner. And our goal is to help you guide your journey through college admissions and beyond. And so we help families and students. So without further ado, why don't we bring on our special guest, Donovan?
Hey, Miss Carthy, how are you? Thank you for
Hey,
having me.
absolutely. So I know that, the people want to know, why don't we start off by you telling us where you're at college, what's your classification, and what your major is, and then we'll jump right into the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So again, my name's Donovan. I'm a freshman at Georgia Tech. I'm a business major over at the Charlotte College of Business, doing a concentration in finance and a minor in computer science. And that's a
Whoa.
little bit about me.
Okay, so that's a lot. Okay, so we'll jump more into no, I'm gonna ask this question right now. So you said your major is what again?
Yeah, so my major is business, and then you can choose 8 different concentrations within business, and I chose the finance one, and then I'm also doing a minor in computer science.
That sounds like you have a plate full of, studying and interaction to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't we get started by, you telling us about the high school that you went to. And we know that it's in Atlanta area. Can you tell us a little bit more about your high school and what your high school was like?
Yeah, for sure. So I went to Woodward Academy. It's a private school down in College Park, right by the airport. It's one of the most diverse private schools in Atlanta. And so I started there in ninth grade. I just moved from California, where I live. I mostly live in LA and San Diego, and then I moved during the COVID pandemic over to Atlanta to start high school. And so Woodward was great. I love the school.
Okay, so can you tell us if you were in, sports, student government clubs? What kind of things did you do in high school? And if you don't mind telling us, do you remember like how many people were in your class or your entire school?
Yeah, so I can start with that one. So I would say in the upper school, which is like the high school, I would say it's around 300 per class, so 300 per grade. So I graduated with, actually my year I graduated with 256, I think. And then throughout the little like clubs in high school, I was part of admissions ambassadors. So like if you came and wanted to tour the school, I would be the one touring you. And then I was also part of the honor council through sports. I did a little bit of basketball, but my main sport was track and field. I did that junior and senior year. That was really fun. I was just part of just several clubs like the Black Student Union, the Mandarin Club. Outside of school, I was part of the like College Park with the city I lived in, the youth council. So I was all around in high school, and Woodward really gave you a lot of opportunities to do that.
So you said the Mandarin Club. I mean, do you speak?
Oh, Chinese club.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Chinese.
the Chinese club. Yeah, I started Chinese actually in middle school in sixth grade. And so my grandmother's from China. She's actually from Guangzhou, 100% Chinese, and came over to the States when she was really young. And so that really inspired me. Even though she speaks Cantonese, I chose to start a language like Chinese. And so I really fell in love with languages. And I think it's just really satisfying just looking at the patterns and everything. So I just picked up Chinese and did it from sixth grade to throughout high school.
Whoa, I mean, you did a lot. So and you just said a little bit. I got like, come on now, you were doing a whole bunch. um, so now, what drew you to Georgia Tech when you and when did you first start thinking about applying?
I would say, well, Georgia Tech is the best college in Atlanta, best college in Georgia from my perspective. I don't know. But when I moved to Atlanta, if you want to stay in state, Georgia Tech is probably the school you want to go to. That Emory. I was also looking at other colleges like USC, the Ivies, obviously, and also like colleges like Morehouse and HBCU. That's where my parents went. Morehouse is founded. So yeah, with Georgia Tech specifically, I was looking at it early on, probably 10th grade, even though I wasn't really set on Georgia Tech until probably, I don't know, like March my senior year. I wasn't set on which college I wanted to go to. But it's been a really great experience actually being on campus. There's a lot of preconceived notions about Georgia Tech, but once I arrived on campus in the summer, it broke all expectations and it's been really fun.
Oh, you said it broke. Okay, so you said something about it broke all expectations. Like, what do people think about Georgia Tech, and then maybe even what did you think before?
Yeah,
Was it?
I just think Georgia Tech, it's not seen as the most fun school per se, especially from high school students. From that perspective, it's a big kind of nerdy school. Even though I would classify myself as a nerd, but it seems like when I went on a tour there and saw the people, I didn't really see people that looked like me a lot, and it was kind of like it lived up to its expectation when I was on the tour. But when I was actually on campus and everyone came back to school, I found my community. There's a bunch of communities, like diverse communities, people that look like you, and it's been really fun. The football team has gotten much better. So I've personally never watched big time football. I've never been to like a big NFL or college game. So I've been front row at every football game, and that it's been a really fun college experience. Like when we beat U Miami, they were like number 3 in the country. I was front row. We stormed the field. It was a great experience.
Yeah, no, I remember that game. I sure did text you. I was like, "You gotta be there." He was like, "I am."
Yeah. I was there. You texted me during it was a homecoming. You texted me like you at the game, and I was like, yeah, I'm front row. I'm here.
um. So can you tell us about just the application process to Georgia Tech? Was it like everyone, what did you have
Yeah.
to do? Anything special?
So I was applying to around 10 colleges at the time, and to be honest, Georgia Tech was probably one of the easier applications. I was also an in-state student, but I don't think it's any different. There was one essay, what draws you to your major and why do you want to come to Georgia Tech? And compared to really other applications, it wasn't really that hard or like a big transition. And so I
Mhm.
just talked about how Georgia Tech, especially applying to the business major, was the perfect blend of business and technology. It's in the heart of Midtown. I talked about all the great programs that Georgia Tech offers. It was like an all-you-can-eat buffet, to be honest. So the application process wasn't that hard. You did your Common App, and then you wrote one essay.
Oh,
That's 250
not
words. Yeah.
that's sweet. So now we know that you got in, and Georgia Tech is very hard to get in. But beyond that, you also earned a prestigious scholarship. Can you tell us like more about that scholarship? And, what was the process?
Yeah, so I got a Dean scholarship through the Charlotte College of Business. So basically, when you apply early action to Georgia Tech and apply for a business major, they basically bring you down and email you and say you're a semifinalist based off your stats. And once you become a semifinalist, they bring you in for an event and you go and tour the Charlotte College of Business. They talk to you, and you actually have an interview there. And so that was a really great experience. I think the scholarship was one of the main reasons why I like set on Georgia Tech, and that's why I was really late because I didn't know until like March or maybe even April that I got the scholarship. So it was just really exciting, and especially being in state and having that scholarship, Georgia Tech, the value that you get, it's compared to other schools, it's probably the best bang for your buck. And so, yeah, having a scholarship was really great.
So did you have to meet with adults and interview, or your peer college students, current ones? Like how?
So it was like a mix of both. That's actually a good question. So they brought in around, they have like 3 separate interview dates, and I went on the second one. And so
Mhm.
there's probably 50 students that day. So I'm guessing it's like around 150 semifinalists. And so I was like with 50 students with their parents. My parents came and basically again they just toured us around. We talked to the dean, the assistant dean. They told us about Georgia Tech, and they were really insistent on us asking questions. So after the event, I just asked a question. I was curious, and then after that, they separated you, and you had a one-on-one interview without your parents. Your parents were somewhere else. You had a one-on-one interview with the staff, the undergraduate programs office staff. So like one of your now they're like my basically what's that called? The person
Was
that
it?
helps you advisor. They're basically
Oh,
my advisor
TA?
now.
Oh,
No, no,
okay.
no, no. They're like my advisor now. So those people in the undergraduate programs office, they interview you, ask you questions. and they really just want to figure out like what you wrote on your application, what's on your resume. They want you to talk about it, and kind of, I guess, make sure you're not lying about anything, seeing that you're a genuine person, seeing that you're a real person.
Hmm.
And so that wasn't really a hard interview. They just talked about, oh, you did this on your resume, just talk more about it, or what's your favorite thing to do. So it was a good interview, and touring the Charlotte College of Business. I say it's the best building on campus. It was amazing. I actually never, when I toured Georgia Tech, I didn't hit the College of Business, and it's amazing. It's really new, brand new. Everything's going on around Tech Square. You have all these restaurants. There's a new building being built across the street, and so I was really drawn to that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about that new building. My
Yeah.
husband went to Georgia Tech for his master's. So I mean, you're about to get a new building. You started in an older building and it's still not even that old.
It's
So
probably, yeah, it's probably one of the newest buildings on campus, and we're getting another one. So it's great.
that's just wild. I mean, I know that you're having an amazing time. So let me see. Um So I thought in my mind, I was like thinking like Woodward was small, but to me, that's pretty large. 300 something seniors. That's pretty large to me, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. It's a pretty big school. It's K through 12. I think it was around a high 2,000 total number of students. 1,200 in the upper school. It is pretty large, but the campus is pretty big too. So walking around, when I first visited Woodward, it was like a college campus. Like I've never been on a, I really never toured a college before in ninth grade. So when I came on, it was a huge campus, such a beautiful campus. It's just huge. There's different buildings for different subjects. So there's a math building, there's a science building, and so it was great being in that private school, and I found a great community there. So it's a large campus and a good amount of people, but it doesn't feel overwhelming for me.
Okay. So given that, I said small, but it's not small.
Yeah.
How did that experience prepare you for college?
I think Woodward was a great high school to go to before college. It's You take a college prep course, so all the classes really prepare you for college. I think my first semester, Woodward was a great like all the classes at Woodward basically directly translated here at Georgia Tech. So like my calculus class, I didn't really have to study because I was prepared from Woodward. It's academically they are gonna make sure that Woodward wasn't an easy school, so academically, they're going to make sure if you take those honors and AP classes, they're going to make sure you're set and excel at any school that you go to. And then Woodward also, I just love that it was like an all you can eat buffet. I was talking about all the clubs that you can do. There's so many opportunities, especially with there's robotics, tech, different sports teams. It was like I was very fortunate to go to Woodward, and I guess it gave you a lot of some of the freedom, especially in your later years, 11th, 12th grade. Not as much freedom in college, but you can kind of like choose your own courses, have your own electives, and I think that really prepared me for the college experience.
Okay. So, since it prepared you, I mean, I know everything's been good and stuff, but what are some of the biggest challenges that you might have faced transitioning to a larger state university?
When I graduate, I think the biggest fears is like, how am I going to meet people naturally? Like, am I going to miss out? What club should I join? I know Georgia Tech is going to be, I'm going to be surrounded by geniuses all the time. Are they going to be easy to talk to? Is it going to be so competitive? But I think what really helped me at transition and make that transition is I did a summer program called Challenge, and basically it's like a diversity summer program, and so you're surrounded by basically a large array of all the black freshmen that come to Georgia Tech. I would say around, I would say like 60% of the black freshmen were in that program. And then you also, just other diverse, like there's Hispanic peoples and Asian peoples, and there's some white people in there, but it was a summer program. You take classes. It was actually kind of intensive. You take classes from like 9 to 3. It was like high school, but every day. But it really prepared me like to make sure that I was still doing work over the summer, meeting new people. And so once fall came around, I already had a community. There's like 12 people from that program that we decided to, like more like 15, that we decided to stay in the same dorm on the same floor. And so it's been
Wait. Hold
very,
up. Let's roll back. You get to pick which dorm you're staying in?
Yeah, is that uncommon? I think yeah, we definitely get to pick. It's really just a first come first serve. Basically, they give you a time slot. It's kind of randomized, but basically, we live in this dorm where people didn't select it because they thought it was the worst dorm, but we researched it during the summer and we realized it just got renovated, and so it's one of the nicer dorms. It's called Smith. It's right across from the dining hall. I can literally go and take 10 steps and be right across from the dining hall. So yeah, there's like 15 of us all on the third floor of Smith, and it's really great. It was my first semester was so much better because of the challenge program and having that community with me already.
So, I mean, I think that's a good idea what you're suggesting. So would you suggest that to students that are going off to college if they can do like you do a summer program so the transition can be easy, or what would
Yeah,
you say?
I know. Me personally, our high school got out in May, so I still got a month of summer vacation. I know you can be hesitant if you get out in June. The challenge program starts in June, so you don't have as much of a summer break. But I still had like a month and a half, still went on vacation, and so I still had like that summer break. And then it was around the point where I was starting to get bored. Like, what are we doing? There's so too many parties. I was starting to get bored. Let's just go back to school. And so yeah, I would recommend the challenge program. It doesn't count for any credit, even though you do take classes. So the classes don't actually count for any credit, but that's because that's what makes it free. If it counted for credits, it would cost the money, but it's almost free. I think. No, it costs $500, but if you do well in the program, they give you that money back and some more. So yeah, it was cool. I would definitely recommend it. The teachers are cool, and you just be sociable and you find that community early on. It's a big advantage, I would say.
Okay. Um, so now, how did being in the same city for both high school and college affect your college experience, or has it?
I think I love the city of Atlanta. I told you I'm from SoCal, so LA and San Diego. I lived there for most of my life, up till middle school and into middle school. So I've been in Atlanta for 4 to 5 years. I'm not bored of it yet. I would say it's still exciting to be here. I wasn't in too big of a hurry to get out of state. I know I'll still be in state, but at Georgia Tech, there's plenty of study abroad, and like with internships, I'll go up to the Northeast sometime during college. So I'm not in that big of a hurry because it's still kind of a new city to me. And
Mhm.
so I love Atlanta. I love the food. I love the Southern charm, and people are just so welcoming and so nice out here. And you can have a conversation with any random person. So I love the South for sure. And then
You
also I
said
have
you
a
love
lot of
the food. Okay, tell us what food are you eating?
no.
Like,
Hey, I got to keep some spots, but no, I'm playing. I love some soul food, and so when I first came here, my parents they went to Spelman Morehouse in Atlanta, so they knew the spots. But yeah, there's some soul food on North Side. We get Busy Bee. I'm a big food connoisseur, so I'm like I'll be researching, going on TikTok, looking at Keith Lee, trying to find the new food spots in Atlanta
wait.
when he came here. So definitely, especially in college when I have more freedom, I think that's one of the big like social activities with me and my friends. Like we'll just hop on the car, walk to the new food restaurants in Midtown, which are like it's like a 10-minute walk, and you have so many food options. You have like Korean barbecue, you have Korean fried chicken, Italian, whatever food you name it. Like within a 10-minute walk from Georgia Tech, you can go get it. So it's really amazing. The location is central. You're in Midtown, but it's still the campus. You still have your own campus, so you feel like you're on campus. But 10 minutes, and you can step, and you can be in the city. And you can have some fun.
Okay, so since you're such a foodie, what are three restaurants that you believe that everyone
Whoa,
must, try when they get into the Atlanta
whoa!
area?
You put me on the spot.
I
I don't know. I
did.
would say I'm about to think. So it depends on what type of food you like. I know near Georgia Tech, you come to Midtown, you like some Mexican food, you got to go to Real Tacos. RREAL Tacos, Real Tacos. It's no in Atlanta. It's very popular, but it's called Burrito Pizza. Immaculate. That was amazing. That was amazing. Real tacos. If you're in for a good burger, I say go to Grindhouse Burgers. That's a really good
Okay.
spot as well. This is not going to be a big, but like if you're a party person, obviously you can go to cookout at after 12 or Waffle House. We love that. We have them right next to here. We have a Waffle House on campus, and the cookout's 10 minutes away.
What? I
But
didn't know that.
yeah, and then if you like Asian food, I'm just there's a bunch of soul food spots, but they're like in the corner. Like, they're not really that popular or like name wise, but like the food is amazing. So there's a bunch of soul food spots around here. There's Toast on Linux, and then I would say there's a big restaurant if you like a Japanese barbecue. It's called Wagyu House. I had some with my friends. It's you're on the top of a building in a high rise, looking down on North Side, seeing the city, and you can eat some Japanese barbecue, and it's like all you can eat.
It
It's
sounds like you're trying to get ready for Valentine's Day. I mean, you telling people.
whoa! I'm just saying, you want it. That's a great spot. That's a great spot. That Wagyu House, I 10 out of 10 as well. But there's so many food spots that I'm not naming, and I know everybody's gonna have a different top three. That just shows you how big of a food city Atlanta is. So it's
And
great.
I love that. I love that. And see, I feel like, I know you look to Keithley, but I feel like you're a local at this point. You know what you're talking about. So, let's talk about how have your academic interests evolved since you started Georgia Tech? Do you think they have evolved?
I think they have. I think they definitely have. I'm still that same curious person that's always looking for new opportunities. But I think in college, I've definitely focused more on the finance field and trying to like get into that workforce. So through finance, I've been doing a lot of like equity research and doing that and trying to do egg research. Like basically, if you don't know what equity research is, people watching like it's just basically stock research and watching the stock market and doing valuations on stocks and finding the intrinsic value. So I've been doing that. Georgia Tech has a vertically integrated projects program, and so you do research with a PhD student or a teacher, and they teach a class about just research in areas that you like. So I've been definitely doing that. Um, I'm starting to take finance classes. Uh, we have a club called the Investments Committee here on campus, and
Hmm.
it's totally student run. You invest. They have a fund worth 2.6 million dollars, and it's total. Only students touch it, and they trade and grow that fund. So once you have the mentorship program, and once you become an analyst, you can start making some deals and actually trading real money to grow that fund. Um, but also, so I've been trying to do mentorship for that. I'm also in doing equity research outside through BLK. It's a 100% Black hedge fund.
Hmm.
And basically, same thing. They have like six figures, and you can help manage and grow their fund as well. So, and I've also been like outside of finance. I've joined a big, one of the biggest like diversity, I would say, clubs on campus. It's called NSB, the National Society of Black Engineers. I'm in the freshman section of it called LDR. And so that's been amazing. That's where I find a big portion of my community. I would say Georgia Tech probably has one of the biggest uh, NSBs in the world because obviously it's one of the best engineering schools here in Atlanta. You're going to find a lot of Black people. So yeah, we have probably one of the best NSBs, and that's a great club that I'm in. And so I've been, more, I would say more focused on finance and professionally wise.
Okay. And so now let's see. What has been your favorite class or project that you've worked on and why?
Favorite class? I don't know. Shoot, that's a good question. I would say accounting is probably one of my favorite classes. I had this teacher, his name was Professor Blunt, and he was just a really good teacher, really passionate. He made a lot of funny like dad jokes, so that kept people on time. Accounting is one of them because that's just so useful in finance. Reading the financial statements, it's very crucial. And it's been one of the most practical classes. And then also a class I'm taking this semester, besides like the research, which is really it's not a
Hmm.
class, but that's one of my most favorite things. But it's called management statistics. And basically what's good about it, Georgia Tech's really like modern, and they really want to catch that AI wave. So this class, they pay for you to get ChatGPT Premium, and you use it and combine it with Excel. You learn Excel skills with statistics, building like graphs and financial modeling skills, but you're also using ChatGPT Premium, making your own ChatGPT, and doing that. And so I've never heard of a class like that. That's been crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of a class of that too. I feel
I
like
know.
I really need to come with you and be like a guest so that I can
Yeah,
learn,
yeah,
like real. Like when I'm using Chat GPT is totally different, and I'm in business, of course, for myself. But I like how you were talking about the forecast and feeding it and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, like
It's crazy. Like they pay that 20. They got a like they got a what's it called? A grant to pay the students $20 a month so they just can get ChatGPT Premium and make your own ChatGPT. So yeah, catching on the AI wave, especially like in finance, but especially within finance, that's going to be super important. Having that skill because AI is going to basically take out a lot of the entry level roles. So if you know how to use AI, if you can put that on your resume, it's just going to boost it for sure.
I mean, that's like mind blowing. Not mind blowing. This is actually what all colleges should be incorporating.
Yeah, yeah.
Because people were like, "Oh, we should like we're already here, and we're a global economy."
And
So,
yeah, and I knew Georgia Tech was going to be on that wave because when you when I told you you have one essay, but part of the prompt is we know AI is going to be a big thing. Go ahead and use it. Use your own experiences, but they know you're going to use AI in your essays, or they expect you to. On honestly, to be honest, so when I came in from the Dean Scholars event, one of the first things the assistant dean says is, "I read your essays. I know y'all used AI, but it's this just what how the world is nowadays." So
right.
it's adapting and evolving. So Georgia Tech is definitely, I would say, very innovative and trying to catch that wave.
See, I think, and I don't know if you agree. I feel like some people don't understand AI, so that they think it's taking over or doing something for you. But in reality, if you don't feed the right information into the prompt, it won't spit out the stuff, and then you have to like tweak it to make
Yeah,
it, sound like.
and I think it's just like any other like machine that's been created, like especially like you look at back at the Industrial Revolution, like those machines took away jobs, you would say. But if you learn how to use those machines, that's another job, a whole other job field. And I think it's just made things more efficient and that's just raised the quality of life.
Mhm.
So I know people are afraid of AI and taking away entry level jobs, but if you get past that fear and start using it and start implementing it in your courses, I think that just makes your students just prepared for the future and just more prepared on how to like be in the have a successful future or have a be in that workforce, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Man, I'm just so excited for you. Like this is so, I'll use the old word, dope. This is so amazing.
So
um, so like looking back, what do you think were the key factors that helped you earn your scholarship and just, thrive at Georgia Tech? Because I feel that's what I feel like you're doing is thriving.
yeah, I would definitely say obviously the academic part you have to at Georgia Tech, you have to be obviously smart to get in, but to become a semifinalist or a finalist for the scholarship, they definitely were looking at the academics. They made you complete like a resume profile, have your picture. They wanted you to submit your resume so they could look over it again. So definitely the academic piece, having good like standardized tests, even though people they have they don't matter. They're not 100% like the total reason you're getting to college, obviously, but they're still important. Having those grades, and so but besides that academic piece, I think that was out the window after you became a semifinalist. That means you already that was just like a prerequisite almost. And then after that, I told you in the interview they wanted to make sure you're a genuine person, real person, that you
Mhm.
weren't afraid to be honest. That you're actually, I think one of the biggest qualities is being curious and
Mm,
showing that curiosity. I know when I meet all the other dean scholars, they're so passionate about like a certain thing. Someone's passionate about healthcare, technology, and doing business with that, or another's actually like from Puerto Rico and passionate about writing. So having a passion and having something that you can just talk about and going into that interview and realizing it's just a conversation. I think a lot of people
that's
left
true.
the left the interview. They left the interview. We talked a little bit after, and they're like, the questions were kind of hard. I don't know how to answer them. I kind of froze up. But I think with anybody that got selected for the scholarship, I think they were just having a genuine conversation and like were actually interested in just talking about their passions. They weren't obviously didn't rely on their resume. Just where they could talk about whatever they put down, you know. And then just
Mhm.
they overall just people that if you're passionate, they know that you have that self drive, and then you'll take advantage of all the opportunities that Georgia Tech has, and you'll be successful later on. That's just such an important factor,
Mm.
I would say, early on.
Okay. So, like if you could go back in time and give yourself, your high school self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I know I said I was very involved, but I would say, I moved to a new school. It was during the pandemic. I was online my whole freshman year. I would say just be more involved more early on, and just take advantage of every opportunity. Like I was very fortunate to go to Woodward, and there were so many opportunities to do whatever. Just I would say just take it in. And 10th grade, I probably was very focused on just academics, probably. And I would just say, like, obviously, say focus on academics, but also just to find your passions, be curious, and search them out and act on them. It doesn't have to be through a reward club. You can do things after, like in 11th grade, after 11th grade summer, I started my own clothing brand. Just act on your passions and just do stuff like that. Yeah, acting on your passions early on is just a great sign for any college admissions. If they see you're passionate about something, they see you took the effort and made something tangible. It's a
Mhm.
great sign.
Okay. So I know we're winding down. What are your goals for the remainder of your time at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, it's been. I know. Like it feels like I've been already so much. So like just like going and doing and expanding on the clubs I'm already in. So being a leader in NSB, the National Society of Black Engineers, I think that would be a great step because that's such an important group that I'm in. I think it brings together a lot of the Black people on campus. I would say, and so just being a leader and being able to connect with people there. Also, I'm a Stellar Business Ambassador, and so just finding some leadership in there. So like I told you, I was a ambassador in high school. I'm a ambassador for the College of Business now. So doing leadership there, and also just again bringing more people to Scheller, the business, because when I went on the tour, I never saw Scheller. I never saw how great it was. So being that person and being that figurehead, and also right now I'm the only. I would say for my grade, I'm the only Black Dean scholar. So just having a person uh, that looks like me in a good position. I think that's something that's really important. When I went for my Dean Scholars interview, I saw somebody who was the president of the Shell Business Ambassadors who looked like me,
Oh,
and he's been my mentor. His name's Caleb, but he's been my mentor ever since. So yeah, being that figurehead and being that leader, and obviously just continue doing that finance work, getting those internships. I want to do equity research or get into investment banking early on in my life and work at a hedge fund later on. So just doing whatever I can towards those goals and keep doing research and keep being myself.
ooh, I like that. So the one last question I have is there anything else you'd like to share? No, no. Like, is there any piece of advice you would give to the young folks that are in high school that are thinking about applying to college? And probably after they hear this, they'll definitely probably want to go to Georgia Tech. So,
Uh, I say get rid of any preconceived notions you have about Georgia Tech. Come here; it's a great place. I love it. Applying to college, obviously, if you don't come to Georgia Tech, just pick a college that's right for you. Look at your passions. Look at what you do, and pick a college that's going to fit all the factors, fit all those needs. I knew that I wanted to be passionate and go to a college that offers so many opportunities and that's innovative. So pick a college that's right for you. Don't listen to really a lot of outside thoughts, except for people that are really going for you. Like my parents were probably, and like obviously you, were people that were going for me and knew what I wanted. So don't listen to like every opinion almost. So just focus on your passions, pursue your passions, make them tangible, and then when you're applying the application, create a story like through your whole life. Create a story for what you did in high school, you've done your whole life, and who you are as a person, and make that story look as great as possible. And after, I think that's all you can do.
I love it. All right. So we are done. Thank you so much for being on. And it's Black History Month, and we're celebrating Black history because Dr.
That can see
is making it, right? So watch
that.
your turn now. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.